Hello my friends and welcome to a video I feel like I should have made quite some time ago now, but it is what it is. We've been playing, we've been grinding, and we've been learning, and that's a key thing there, because all that knowledge and experience that I've gained, we're going to put that all into a video today, giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to snipe in a Call of Duty Warzone. Now this video is going to cover everything from loadouts to settings to playstyles to tips and tricks within the game that are going to make you better with a sniper rifle. So if you're new to Call of Duty, if you're new to Warzone, because it is a free-to-play game, this is going to be perfect for you, because I'm going to cover the basics, stuff to get you started within sniping. But also for those who are playing Call of Duty a lot, I know some people are still struggling with the mechanics with sniping, deciding on what to do in certain situations. We're going to cover those as well. So if you learned anything from this video, please share this video around, drop a like on the video right now, and subscribe if you are new. I know a lot of people that aren't subscribed right now. So here's a little background info of where this advice is going to be coming from. I'm currently sitting at almost 100 wins and around a 4.2 kill death ratio. Now I feel like that's pretty solid. Hopefully the tips in this video will make you a little bit more confident when running around with this gun. But first though, I need to get the boring stuff out of the way. I need to talk about the loadout. The weapon customization is key. I can't stress that enough. You need to get the perfect loadout, so when you get it in game, you're going to be set, you're going to be confident, you're going to look and feel fantastic. So the main thing you need to know about sniping within this game is that each sniper rifle that you pick up, it's going to feel different. Whether it's one that you find on the floor loot, whether it's your friend's sniper, whether it's an enemy sniper that you've picked up once you've killed them. It could have a better movement speed, it could have a slower ADS time, it could have a better damage at range. Customization is endless. After all this trial and error, after all this testing, I can guarantee you that the HDR is the best sniper rifle in Warzone, hands down. Okay, I love the AX50, don't get me wrong. Yes, it has slightly better movement speed. Yes, you can fire it a little bit quicker, but the bullet velocity, the time it takes for your bullet to leave your gun and hit the enemy, slightly slower than the HDR, meaning when you're using the HDR, you don't have to lead your shot as much, and you feel a lot more in control and confident when shooting at long range. So for the muzzle, we have monolithic suppressor, which increases that damage at range, but also keeps you silent. All right, when you fire it away, it keeps you hidden from the radar, but also it decreases ADS speed, which we will counter that with a different attachment later on. We have the barrel, 26.9-inch HDR Pro. Get this on right now. This is crucial. Okay, increases that recoil control, increases that damage at range, but the main thing, it increases that bullet velocity. Sadly though, it decreases the ADS speed and the movement speed, so you're a little bit more sluggish, but we will counter the ADS speed with this tack laser right here. I've got the increased ADS speed, aim and stability, and aim walking steadiness. At the end of the day, this isn't affecting how the sniper rifle actually works, you know, the bullet. It's just the ADS speed. It's just the time it takes for you to scope in, and I'd highly recommend having a faster one. That's why we also have F-Tac Stalker Scout on there. Now the last one is kind of preference. I use 7-round mags. I play a lot of trios and quads, and I feel like having those extra 2 bullets, it comes in very handy, but you could take that off. You could throw on FMJ or sleight of hand. Fully loaded on as well, so you always get a max amount of ammo when you pick it out of the loadout. I don't even think focus is that good in this game. It's supposed to reduce the flinch of you getting shot, but honestly, when you're getting shot with a sniper rifle, I don't think you should be using it. I think you just swap to the other weapon, because that flinch is incredible in this game. So I'd highly recommend trying different ones. Cold blood on this game is such a common perk that having thermal on is going to make it even harder to snipe. So I'd recommend it if you enjoy thermal sniping, but it does decrease the ADS speed, so it's going to make things a little bit slower. Same with the variable. I know people like that extra zoom on the variable, but honestly, I just love the default optic. Currently have the cover shot reticle, which is my favorite. If you want to see my X51, I keep playing around with it. I do have the monolithic suppressor on this, the 32-inch factory barrel, the tack laser, the Singard Arms Assassin, which increases the ADS speed. Same with the stipple grip tape. But of course, even with all this stuff, the ADS speed isn't even that different from the HDR, and it's still worse at range. Don't even touch the Dragunov. That thing is terrible. Now, into the gameplay. A quick overview of those 2 snipers we were talking about, the AX50 and the HDR, both one shot to the head, even if they have full armor, okay? Which is great. We love going for the headshots right there, but sometimes you can't get the headshots. They might be incredibly slimy, you know, snaky movement, jumping, crouching, and that is where you have to take into consideration. It takes 3 shots to the body or lower to down that person if they have full armor. So sometimes it might take 2 shots to the body to down someone, and that's just obviously down to them not having enough armor plates. You'll notice when that happens is because the first shot will break that armor. You'll get that blue symbol on the screen saying you broke their armor, so then you know it only takes 1 more shot. So moments like that, you'll notice, okay, I don't need to aim for the head there. I can just get the body shot and finish that kill off. Also, when you're team shooting, okay, when you're shooting with your teammates and you're focusing on one guy, you don't necessarily need to aim for the heads. It's literally situational, you know. Every gunfight, every engagement you get into, you should take a different approach. Obviously, the main goal is to get that one-shot headshot. That's the ideal situation every time. You see 3 guys, pop 3 heads, whatever, that's perfect, okay? But sometimes you don't need to take the extra time to light up their head, because it is tough to get that headshot every time. So the sniper rifle in this game has a role. It doesn't always necessarily mean getting the kill. It's just doing damage, breaking armor, and working with your team. Once they're down, it does actually take 2 shots to the body to finish off that kill and 1 one shot to the head, so be aware of that as well. If you want to get him finished quickly, shoot him in the body with a sniper, pull out your secondary, AR, sub, whatever it may be, and finish off the kill that way. There's certain situations where staying in your scope to try and line things up is actually going to cause problems, because standing still, be in a tree, be in a trunk, and just stood there and try to get the headshot, it's just so detrimental because you don't know what's going on around you. You could be getting flanked, you could be getting sniped back, and you don't even know where they're looking from. Scope it in and out, move it around, keep it on your toes is always the best way to snipe in this game. And when you're ready and you think you're confident in taking that shot, stand still, shoot, and then move again. Staying out of your scope allows you to kind of get an idea of what's going on around you. The map is huge in Warzone. There's so many buildings, so many windows, and if you're stuck in your scope, your vision is pretty limited, to be fair. And another reason I recommend staying out of your scope as much as possible is the scope glint that you have in this game. When you aim down your sights, you actually have a massive glint or a glare, big bright light basically coming from your scope when you're aiming down your sights, which people looking in your area can see from a mile away. So that is something to take into consideration. If you're using some of the lower zoom scopes, I think it's like 3.5x or lower, you won't have that glint on your sight, but obviously you're pretty limited with the range. But if you're using a sniper scope or a thermal, whatever, one of the bigger scopes with the higher zooms, that's where you're going to be noticed. So while you are moving around the map, try to find enemies, whatever your playstyle may be, as aggressive or as passive as it may be, you're still going to be hunting, you're still going to be looking for people. And in my opinion, centering your shot is the best way to be quicker, more mobile, and just more responsive when you're moving around the map. Centering is basically getting someone in the middle of your crosshairs or something in the middle of your crosshairs before you scope down your sights, okay? And that is perfect for so many situations. If you're moving around, go with high ground. Make sure your centered point is the top of the hill, the trees, wherever you might think an enemy will come from, make sure they are already centered. Whether there's nobody there, whether it's a tree there, whether it's a rock, whatever it may be, just make sure that point is centered, so if someone does come, then you don't have to move your crosshairs to their point, or you have to scope in and then move across. Like, it's all too much time being taken away from the gunfight. If you're centering certain points, okay, I'm moving here. Oh, I bet there could be a guy in that window. Let me look up there, center that, boom, you're ready. You know, it's always getting whatever possibility you think is going to happen centered in the crosshairs, so when you do see someone, you can scope down your sights, do as little work in the scope as you can, and take that shot as quickly as you can, get out, and then move. And I do still recommend, if you are taking that shot, stand still when you're taking that shot. It just makes things a little bit more direct, a little bit more reliable. If you are moving, the shot might still go straight, but it's something that I definitely recommend just getting into the habit of standing still when you take that shot and then move. So as I mentioned previously, bullet velocity is something you're going to have to take into consideration when you're playing Warzone. The map is absolutely massive, which means there's going to be a lot of fights where you've got so much range in between you and the target. If you just aim directly on them and expect that shot to hit, you are going to be mistaken. You need to lead your shot, okay? And this is going to be different for each weapon you use. You're going to have to lead way more with a regular weapon, but with this HDR setup right here, there's actually not that much leading you have to do when you shoot it at range. So if you don't know what I mean by leading your shot, it's basically the concept that you have to shoot ahead of that person because of the travel time, the bullet velocity, the time it takes for your bullet to leave your gun and hit the opponent or reach a certain target. So if you're shooting somebody at range, they're running, they're walking, they're in a car, a vehicle, whatever it may be, you have to take into consideration, okay, that guy's moving, so how long will it take my bullet to travel to that person if he reaches this point in front of me? And that's just honestly something that's going to take quite a bit of practice. Sometimes they're moving quicker, sometimes they're moving slower. Every situation is different. They might be 800 meters away, they might be 400 meters away. I'm still learning. There's still a lot of shots where I overcompensate for the lead. Just keep in mind that that is an aspect of the game, a pretty key one as well, especially when you shoot it at range. So alongside leading your shot when you're shooting a target at range or when they're moving, you also have to take into consideration the bullet drop. This is based around the idea that when you're shooting someone at quite far range, like that bullet is not going to go perfectly straight. It might actually drop off towards the end, especially when they're really, really far away. However, with that HDR setup I showed you guys earlier, just to aim like literally the top of the head, and you should still get that headshot, and if not, you're still hitting that body, that high torso, and doing a bit of damage. But with the other sniper rifles, you know, the AX-50, or you might be using the marksman rifles, you do have quite a little bit more of that bullet drop to take into consideration. So when you are firing at range, just make sure you're aiming a little bit higher just to compensate for that bullet drop. I think a key aspect of Warzone that people struggle with is positioning, especially with a sniper rifle. This mindset that you kind of have to be slow and play scared, play the windows, the rooftops, in my head, a myth to me. And it doesn't matter about confidence, it doesn't matter about how good you are with a sniper. There's so many places around the map that allow you to be in cover and be an advantage when using a sniper rifle. Obviously, having the high ground against a team with a sniper rifle is an incredible advantage, but it doesn't mean that being on the same level as them is a place that you shouldn't be with a sniper rifle. I'm telling you, even if you're not confident with a sniper rifle, being in a bush or a window or hiding on a roof is not going to increase your skills with a sniper, if that makes sense. You're not going to be in a situation where you're going to improve, and I appreciate that that's a play style that people love, but if you're trying to improve with a sniper rifle, work it around the map with your team. Just having that sniper there, you don't always have to use it. You see in a lot of my gameplays, I use an MP7 or a Growl. I'm using different weapons at close range, but I still have that sniper rifle there because there's certain situations, there's certain head glitches, there's certain points where I can climb on top of a box or a tent or a fence, or I can flank to the right while my teammate pushes forward and I'm getting angles from the right. If like that is the role in my eyes of a sniper in Warzone. It's not to be hidden away, play. It's not to be on a rooftop, in a window. It's to be around your team, but making those plays, those smart plays where you might be able to find a headshot, get that initial down in your teammates push. You might be able to get in a certain situation where they can't hear you. You've got a silencer on your sniping. You're doing damage. You're hitting armor. You're breaking armor. Somebody in a window and I get that first headshot and then we push forward. We see for the windows. Like, your role is not just to be hidden and silent or whatever. It's to be a distraction sometimes. You know, they might like look to the right like, oh my god, there's a sniper there. We've just been hit. Focus on that sniper. They get you a little bit weak. That's fine. You heal up, get your armor back up, and then you peek somewhere else. You don't re-peek the same spot. That's such a common mistake. And to be fair, I still do it to this day. Don't get me wrong. I try and ego challenge from the same area. But with this game, it's crucial that you keep moving and move to different covers, move to different areas, move to different vantage points. That's where your teammates are pushing up. They have no idea. And then they're obviously going to get wiped out. It's such a great tactic when you're running as a squad. And even when you're playing by yourself in solos, it's so easy to just get that initial pick, that one-shot headshot, and then keep moving and rotating around the map. So anywhere moving around the map with a sniper rifle in your hands, or honestly with any weapon in your hands, you need to be constantly aware and ready for engagements, all right? Those gunfights can literally come out of nowhere. It goes from 0 to 100, back to 0, just real quick. So you need to be always aware. And the best tip I've got for you is keeping your thumb on the analog stick at all times. That has been something I've been saying for so many years now, and it stays true to this day. As soon as you take your thumb off the analog stick to reload or to jump or to now repair your armor, so you've got to think, you take your thumb off the analog stick, you're holding that button down, you repair it, you just can't have any control over your aim while you're doing that. So there are different settings in the game you can change to kind of allow for that, different button layouts, but honestly, the best thing I'd recommend is a scuff controller, right? This one right here, this is my design right here, the Spratt scuff. What a beauty, all right? But this one right here is a Vantage 2. You can get it in different designs. This is for the 4PS Pro, so the PlayStation 1, and this one is the Scuff Impact, all right? So with these right here, I actually rock 4 paddles. That's the beauty of these Scuff controllers. There's 4 paddles on the back, which always allows me to keep my thumb on the analog stick. So I can just use these unused fingers, which literally do nothing. If you think about it, what are they doing back there, all right? So now I've got this left paddle set to jump. I've got this inner one set to triangle, so I can now repair my armor. I can do jump shots, whatever I want. The right one over here, I'm pretty sure is circle. That might be melee. And then the inner one right there is actually set to square, so when I'm looting, I can pick things up off the floor. If you're keeping your thumb on the analog stick at all time, you can literally just scope out what's going on. If you want to check out the Scuff controllers, I will put a link in the description, scuffgaming.com. Use the code SPRAT for 5% off checkout. Honestly, if you can figure something out in game as well, keeping that thumb on the analog stick, scoping out what's going on while repairing, reloading, whatever it may be. One thing I can't stress enough though, and I'm telling you, even the best snipers out there still struggle to this day to use it like this. You can't use a sniper rifle in Warzone as a primary weapon consistently at close range, medium range, and long range. This isn't multiplayer where you can get that quick shot off and get the kill, okay? It takes 3 shots to the body, so having a secondary there is crucial. When it comes to those close engagements, when it comes to the late game, might be pushing a building, or maybe a team's hopped out of a car. It's carnage all over the place. You try to use a slow, heavy hitting sniper rifle at that range, it's just going to cost you and probably your team as well. So highly recommend using overkill. Make sure you have amped on that class setup as well. You've got a great AR sub, whatever it may be, for the close to medium range engagements, and then when you get in those initial picks for your team, or you're doing damage from range, one random guy running across the field, that's where the sniper rifle is going to come in clutch. So I think I'll wrap things up by showing you guys my in-game settings for Modern Warfare Warzone. All right, you might go through these and try them and think, wow, this is too weird, it's too fast, too slow. So many better players than me who use different settings. Everyone's going to use different settings, and that's just how it is, okay? So sensitivity, always start slower, work your way up. Everything else is just trial and error. Talk through mine. You might love them, you might hate them, but here we go, okay? Button layout is currently tactical flipped. I love shooting and aiming with the L1s and R1s at the top. I feel you get a quicker response time a little bit there, and then L2 and R2 obviously to throw grenades and all that good stuff. I do play tactical as well, so I crouch with my R3 button on my right analog stick, and then I melee with the paddle on the back, the circle. Then my stick layout is default, invert, vertical look is disabled, current horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical are both set to 11. The lower zoom sights, I have a 0.9 ADS sensitivity, so it's a little bit slower. I can be more controlled, but with the high zoom ones, you know, the sniper scopes, all that good stuff, I have it even higher. I have 1.4, just to kind of counter that aim assist slowdown which you get on some of the sniper rifles. Now I have an aim response curve type set to linear. So the reason I have linear set is when you move your analog stick, your aim stick, whatever you want to call it, left, right, up, down, whatever it may be, it instantly snaps to your max sensitivity. Okay, so if you have sensitivity set to 1111, if you move your analog stick, it is instantly 1111. So that, in my opinion, allows for much more consistency, because every time you turn, whether you're turning for a minute or you're turning for a second, it's always going to be the same speed, so you can just control it a lot more. Aim assist is set to standard. All the others are just absolutely, it's just too much. It's too much. Use reload behavior is currently set to contextual tap, and I'd highly recommend that. So rather than you see something on the ground, you have to hold square or whatever button you use to pick things up. You literally just press it once and it picks up the loot off the floor, and I'd highly recommend that. Everything else right there, you can check out if I don't think anything else has changed, but they're the basic ones there. I think that should do it. Gone through the settings there. Hopefully you've all enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you haven't already. Share this around if you think it helped, and honestly, hopefully you all enjoy sniping in Warzone. It's so much fun, and I just can't wait to see the snipes you guys are about to hit. Enjoy.